Hello everyone and welcome. Yes, my name is Arrowfire and welcome back to another episode of Look Out and Shout. And today we're going to look at something a bit more Takara related for a change. Look out and shout! Ow! Say hello to Takara Masterpiece 2.0 or 3.0 MP52 Skywarp, the Seeker mould, the revised Seeker mould. I will say, as you've seen in the title, this is the KO version. This isn't the official Takara version, this is the intended knockoff. I feel like I need to do a whole video on a difference between fourth party and KOs because that's getting a bit muddy water right now. This, for all intents and purposes, is packaged like Takara, looks like Takara, very much supposed to be a representative of Takara, but is a straight up KO and a fraction of the price. Now, the official Takara mould came out at something like about £180. You'd be lucky if you find one for around £200 now. It's very expensive now what Takara are putting out in the Masterpiece line. This, however, was in the region of £70. Now, very much buyer beware, as I've said before. If you're going to buy a KO, it costs £70, you're going to get £70 worth of a £200 figure. But we'll have a look into it and see what it is like. But first, let's have a look at the accessories inside. So to start off, you get a flight stand, which is becoming quite commonplace with most Takara Masterpiece now, even in Beast Wars line. They're all the same sort of pegs, they all work. This one is in a very nice purple. Purple is a very nice theme throughout this set. So if you've got any others and the other Seekers, this will all plug in very nicely, mostly for jet mode, it has to be said. It also comes with a crown. Oh god damn it. He also comes with a crown, which we've seen in other Seeker moulds before, which is really Starscream's crown, but really all the other Seekers come with them now. Thundercracker will have a crown and previously has had a cape. Skywarp is much the same. Similar accessories throughout. Comes with Megatron in gun mode as well. And this is probably the issue I have with this set, is the accessories are very Seeker-esque. For the reincarnations of the Seekers that we've had with other offerings from Takara, Make Toys or whoever, the accessories are by and large the same. Now, okay, what other accessories do Seekers have? Maybe not a lot, but it's another mini Megatron in a gun, which we get with pretty much any one of the Decepticon command hierarchy. You get a crown only because Starscream had a crown for a brief bit in a movie. The accessories are a little bit unimaginative, shall we say, but they're there nevertheless. And other accessories will be blast effects that you can either use for blast effects on the cannons, on the null rays, or in jet mode coming out the back of the afterburners. But again, pretty standard stuff. Now he does come with some interchangeable faces and they're pretty easy to get on and off, although I thought what was quite interesting is the very derpy looking face that he comes with. Now I don't know if you'll see that, but the very derpy looking face he comes with, he actually has a bit of red paint smearing under the eye, to the point that he actually looks like he's crying. Now, okay, yes, this is a KO, what do you expect? But it's a bit of a shame. Maybe I could scratch it off, but it does look like shoddy workmanship. How that even left the factory as acceptable is a bit poor. He comes with other faces as well. I've got him on in a shouty face that I quite like, a very angry Skywarp. But of course, it wouldn't be Takara without 16,000 pages of instructions. And these instructions are not the best. And Takara have got quite bad at them, I think, really. Beast Wars Dinobot was the one that really put me off. It shows you how to get it into Gerwalk mode, because that's the thing. And then it shows you how to get it from jet mode into bot mode. And honestly, I gave up and went Hard Panther all the way through. It was fairly straightforward, I suppose. Transformation was quite fun. But when you see things like this, it puts you off, particularly what you hear of other companies and their difficulty in transforming. You then start seeing two sides of a whatever. It doesn't exactly encourage you. But enough of that. Let's take a closer look, shall we? And here he is in his jet mode. Now, as I've transformed him into this a couple of times, you can see, as is typical with jet modes, stuff doesn't want to tab in like it used to. But otherwise, it's a pretty straightforward transformation. It is actually a very good looking jet mode. Takara do possibly the best jet mode on the market. They did that back with MP3, MP11. They do very good F-22 or F-16, I forget which. They do very good fighter jets. The black, I think, really does kind of shine here. It's not this deep black that's going to suck up every ounce of detailing. You can still see the detailing very nicely. The purple breaks it up very nicely. It is just a very good jet. The tricky parts come with putting some of these panels in when you get it from robot mode into jet mode. You want to kind of get the backs first, the fins tabbed in, and then work your way up the main body of the jet. It's tricky. The arms are a little bit fiddly as well as to what bit you need to do first. It's not a transformation that you would have to fight. It won't fight you, but there are a couple of bits it wants you to do in order first. You can go off script, but only slightly. But otherwise, it's a really good looking jet mode. Again, a similar jet style to what we've seen before. I don't see a lot of upgrade here to what we've had with MP11 in the past. But I suppose, can you improve on perfection? Possibly not. But it's nothing that we haven't seen before. Overall, it's fairly standard in jet mode. Again, some bits will want to untab on you, but it's pretty good. There's no real die cast other than maybe the chest piece to speak of. Other than that, it's good plastic. It's very similar to the MP11 mold, if I'm being brutally honest. Stuff will come untabbed, but again, this is probably because it is the KO version. It's not to say it's bad, it's certainly not. But it's something that we have seen before. It's Skywarp in a jet mode. It looks very good, but it is what it is. And here he is alongside Earthrise Skylinks, just to give a sense of what the jet mode really looks like. Now, that's the only jet I've really got in this mode, and I know this is Chug, and that's Masterpiece, but it shows you the sense of scale. He's a fairly big bot in this mode. He will scale with most of your Masterpiece collection, in this mode at least. And here he is in his robot mode, and the biggest problem is once you get him in that transformation, the legs, the knees in particular. What you can actually see is he's probably not standing completely straight, but balance is funny with this guy. He wants to topple forward. So if I show you, if I take him off, clip these one ratchet forward, and they stay, and then make sure the ankles are as flat as possible, but they're a problem in their own right. Put them back and you see how he starts to lean. And I wonder if that's more support with the ankles than it is with the knees themselves, but it doesn't look right, does it? I think that's possibly a KO problem. The ankles are the worst part about this figure. You can lock them in, you can say, there you go, hold that, and then he wants to lean forward again. So to compensate, do you have to click one back? I think that's a problem with the KO as opposed to the figure itself. I'm not aware of that being a problem with the Takara version. But that aside, he looks really, really good. There are tolerance issues that come with the KO. The hardest part of the transformation is getting the wings and the back to kind of join together, getting the torso, the back of the torso and the wings to tab together. It wants to fight you, but I think that is just more tolerance of the connections with a KO. I've seen better tolerances on official figures, and I've seen this kind of problem with KOs before. They don't quite meet up how you want them to. But aesthetically wise, he looks really, really good. That's the face I've decided to go with, because as I said, this other one that came with it had like a bit of a crying sensation to it, if you can see, just over that left eye. So that's the face I've decided to go with. He comes with a myriad of others and other accessories. I do love how that purple looks. I think it is such a striking purple. It's the best one out there of really the three offerings at the moment. You've got to look at is Takara, Mate Toys and Deformation Space, and I think this one from a colour palette perspective absolutely nails it. I'm not a fan of that light grey used for the shoulders and for the chest. I think it's very dull, but I think the black is good. It doesn't suck up the light too much, and the purple is stunning. Now of course that is a faux chest piece, it is a fake one, and it doesn't open up, and I'm a little bit surprised because if I take this off, you'll see what I mean. So to keep with Takara's toon accuracy, he comes with his cluster bombs, which is fairly standard for Seekers now. And there you are, he can do his best cat impression of having 6 nipples either side. All very nice, as we come to expect. But then this centrepiece doesn't open, which it did in the cartoon. You get like the inside gubbins of Starscream or whoever. So I'm a little surprised. So that's the thing, if you're going to go with a fake chest piece, it doesn't open, so the nose cone actually folds up inside the back layer. You can just about see some orange glow of the visor, perhaps. I'm okay with faux chest pieces to make it look cleaner, I suppose, but when you have things that are gimmicks in some aspects, then they're not in others. So funny choice that they decided not to go with that. Posability wise, he's pretty good. You get some butterfly joints on here, but that is more for the transformation. But it does allow you to kind of get some smaller ratchets in if you want to get a arm off the shoulder pose or something like that. He does actually pose quite well. It's the balancing that's his biggest problem. and it's a shame because it really can dock this figure some points. It was really hard getting his null rays in as well. They are really, really tight, so I had to force those in. But otherwise, it cleans up fairly well. The transformation wasn't that fun, but at the same time, it wasn't that challenging. I just wish that balance on the knees was better. I mean, you can see if I tilt the camera down, look how far back his legs are going. But then again, you know, KO, buyer beware. And you can see posability is pretty good actually. This is him holding the Megatron gun in gun mode, and he's actually down on one knee and with an ab crunch on the go. So he holds in position well. The ab crunch is actually a bit of a problem. It's very loose. Again, that is to aid the transformation, but if you tilt him forward, he will flop forward. But again, I'm putting that down to typical issues with KO. But at least he poses well. And this is the comparison that most people will want to see. Here he is alongside Deformation Space Thundercracker. Now, I do think this mold is a better robot mode, but I did not like the Skywarp in those colours. I think that is the better Skywarp colour palette, but I think that is a better structure. I'm surprised how much taller it is, to be perfectly honest. And this is where you see a difference between Takara Masterpiece and third-party Masterpiece and the style and stature that they're going for. The legs alone are so wildly different. You can see a stockiness in the thighs here. You can see a slenderness in here. Same can be said of the arms. Look at the forearms. They're wildly different for what are two very similar characters. Nevertheless, they do look quite good together though, if he wants to stay up. And we couldn't leave him out, could we? Here he is alongside Make Toys Howling Meteor G1 Starscream with the MP54 head attached. I would still say in many ways this is the best Starscream on the market. I like the white better than the flat grey that you get with the Takara mould. I like the red better. It pops a bit more. I love the gold chest piece. Although I will say this is starting to show its age a little bit. But again, look how much smaller this is. It's quite a difference. When you get the three of them together, this guy really does stand out for being the stumpiest. And this is where I feel Takara really haven't done themselves that great. They've done some things right with the mould, don't get me wrong. They've made improvements on their previous Seeker mould. But I feel they haven't tried hard enough. Is that too much to say? Is that harsh to say? I don't know. This, when you compare it to other offerings, it does come out third best. And again, just to emphasise on height, here he is alongside other Takara offerings. This is alongside the Masterpiece Soundwave from Takara and the MP36 Megatron. And yeah, I mean, the Seekers weren't the tallest, but I'm surprised he's that small. So what would I say of the KO version of this mould and Skywarp in general? Well, as a KO, it's absolutely fine. And that's just it. The problem isn't the KO. The problem I have with it is the mould. I don't think it's the best mould, but I do think it's the best Skywarp out on the market. The other offerings of Deformation Space, I think maybe the frame and the structure of the mould in robot mode looks better. I think the purple looks incredibly lilac, very violet, very bland. This is a very strong looking purple, very colour coordinated Skywarp. You've got that black that doesn't suck up the light too much. The grey is very flat grey. I'm not a fan of it. I wasn't a fan of it on the Starscream of this Takara mould as well. The purple is gorgeous. It's certainly not a bad figure. It's certainly not a bad mould. I just feel Takara could do better. And this is where I feel Takara are losing the Masterpiece race again. When it looked like they were leaving it and just focusing on Chug, then they started bringing out a few more Masterpiece again. You think, oh, they're back into it. Talk to them doing a Jetfire and a Masterpiece. But this is their offering, and it's good, it's fine. But I get the impression that the likes of a Deformation Space, x-transbots, or a Fans Toys, to name but a few, could put out something better. And this is the thing. I've now got 3 Seekers of 3 different companies, and that was really my choice. I've got the Make Toys Howling Meteor for Starscream, Deformation Space for Thundercracker, and now Takara for this. Maybe they are the 3 best offerings of those characters on the market. It will differ from person to person. Like I say, this is a very good figure, the fact that it's a KO. And it's a very good KO. It's got a couple of tolerance issues that you have to expect because it's a KO. But I don't think the mould is the best mould. I do think Takara could do better. I think the grey is very lifeless. I think the proportions are quite off. I think the legs are very thin, very gangly when you look at the rest of the body. And it doesn't seem so apparent here. but the Starscream one really stuck out to me. It just looked like such a chubby midsection. When you look at the rest of the bodies, when you look at how thin the arms are, to go for that toon accuracy, Takara are leading into toon accuracy, very much like a Fans Toys would. I just feel they could do better. I don't think it's the best mould. Is it the best one out there so far? Maybe. Maybe I'm just saying that because it's new. But saying all that, and if I've got to review this figure, I suppose I would say this is worth 3 Rodimus Star badges. It's not to say, again, it's a bad KO. I've got some very good KOs. But I just don't think it's the best Seeker that could be out there on the market today. And there we go. That is my review of the KO version of Takara's MP52 Skywarp. What do you guys think? Leave a note in a comment below. Is this a figure that you're particularly taken with? Have you got the other Seeker jets? Do you like them? Do you not? Do you want to see another company do it better? Do you want to see Takara do it better? Leave a note. I'd love to know what you think. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and hit that subscribe button because I will see you on the next one.